tanggalin na natin yung stigma na kapag sinabing mental health is baliw ang tao. Hindi siya gano'n, okay?
Our client is one of the world's largest renal care providers, delivering dialysis and associated renal services from several centres in the UK. They're looking for brilliant nurses who are fully focused on patient care and would appreciate working with great schedules, no Sundays, and excellent staff-patient ratios. If that sounds like you and you'd like to learn more, click the link below for an info pack. Or give us a call today on 0203 637 6445. That's 0203 637 6445 today.
Hello, Manong George here. Welcome to our channel. And today we have a very special guest.
Hi everyone, my name is Alice and I'm gonna tell you a story how I took care of my mental health.
Manong knows best.
Working in a care home, I'm a clinical lead and medyo stressful na yung mga nangyayari. Like say for example, of course I'm not gonna mention the name of the company where I'm working in, pero may mga times na like say for example, yung staff literal na hindi na siya safe, yung staffing namin it's not safe staffing, tapos yung pressure sa lahat, sa staff, especially sa nurse, knowing yung count ng mga residents namin, di ba? Sometimes, mag-isa lang ako or say for example, isa lang talaga ang nurse sa unit. Sometimes, one nurse is equivalent to 50, 55, even nagsi-60 residents pa yan. And imagine, you really have to handle yun. You have to make sure na okay yung mga pasyente mo. Aside from that, may mga paperworks pa and all that. And of course, as ako, na clinical lead ako, medyo mas mataas yung expectation sa akin. Okay? And medyo nagpatong-patong na siya. Okay? And I reached the point na parang yung happiness na nafe-feel ko instead of yung pag pumapasok ako, di ba, eager kang pumasok. Parang nawawala siya kasi I feel like I'm burdened na. Parang mahirap siya. Now, it also happened na patapos na yung 3 years contract ko. So, tinanong ako ng manager ko, i-renew ba natin yung 3 years mo? And then I said, hindi na. Sabi ko, I think I need to move on sa ibang care home. Sabi ko, I'm even thinking baka NHS, pwede din ako mag-move dyan. So, I noticed na after that, kasi syempre nag-start na ako mag-apply kung saan-saan, dumating yung mga reference. Syempre, di ba, kailangan mag-reference check. And nakita ng manager ko na isa-isang pumapasok yung mga reference request. So, yan, onti-onti naramdaman ko na like say for example, yung deputy manager ko, parang pinapahiya niya ako sa group chat and all that. And ito yung pinaka sa akin na nasaktan talaga ako kasi parang I felt like na yung trabaho na super love ko na talagang for me very precious siya, na yung mga residente doon parang mga lola-lolo ko na parang bakit ganun? Bakit why is it making me feel so bad? Sabi ko, bakit ganyan? Napapahiya ako. And parang hindi na-appreciate yung mga bagay na ginagawa ko. Ganun ang na-feel ko. And it so happened na alam mo yun, onti-onti, parang nag-pile up siya yung mga nararamdaman ko. And until one time, hindi ko na kinaya.
Manong knows best.
I called my GP. So, when I called my GP, hindi ko na rin napigilan, umiyak na rin ako. And then, what's good about the GPs, yung mga doctors dito, is they are very open. Talagang pakikinggan ka nila. Talagang sabi ko, I know you don't have the time. I know how busy na ang NHS, di ba? Tapos sabi niya sa akin, no, Alice, I have the time. Sabi niya, I have all day to listen to you. And you know, in-explain ko sa kanya kung ano na-feel ko, and I was crying and I was shaking. I was literally telling her na I'm shaking right now. I'm feeling na nalalamig yung kamay ko and all that. So, in-assess niya ako. And then the initial thing that she did was, sabi niya, okay, let's put you on a break for 2 weeks. sabi niya. So by default pala, ganun siya, 2 weeks kang bibigyan ng time off. Now, you will be given 2 weeks as a time off at may kasama siyang sick note. Parang yun yung note na ibibigay mo doon sa employer mo. And it states there kung ano yung reason. Yung sa akin, personally, nakalagay, stress due to work. Yun yung nakalagay na reason. And then after that, kailangan mong ma-review uli after ng GP mo after 2 weeks. So, after 2 weeks, nireview ako ng GP ko, and then sabi niya, how are you feeling now? Syempre, she was asking ano yung mga bagay na ginawa mo, nag-try ka bang mag-enjoy sa buhay mo habang naka-off ka, you know? So, sinabi ko sa kanya kung ano yung mga bagay na ginagawa ko, but then again, sabi ko, I feel na it's not enough. Sabi ko, I feel na parang medyo nagkaroon ako ng fear to go back to work. And then that's what's good about the healthcare system here. I mean, I know maraming magsasabi na maraming negative, pero may mga good din, alam mo yun. And this is one of the things which is good kasi very important sa kanila yung mental health. Sabi niya sa akin, you really have to protect your mental health. Sabi niya, it doesn't mean na mental health yan is baliw ka na, sabi niya. Sabi niya, basically, what I want you to do is, sabi niya, I'm gonna give you another month, sabi niya, and then I want you to go home, sabi niya, to the Philippines if it will help you. Kaya, umuwi ako ng Pilipinas. So, Pasko, tsaka New Year, nandun ako, although we don't really celebrate that sa religion ko, I was there. I was with family. And 1 month akong nandun, and it really helped. Being with family talaga, you know, I don't think talaga gamot, alam mo yon, sabi ko nga sa doktor ko, Dok, huwag niyo akong bigyan ng gamot. Sabi ko, I don't think I need tablets or pills. Sabi ko, maybe I just need someone to talk to or I just need family. Sabi niya, yes, okay, let's do that, sabi niya. So, ayun nga, umuwi ako ng Pilipinas, came back, and then, again, may review na naman yon. Okay, by the way, yung 1 month na, yung after pala ng 2 weeks, after ng 2 weeks na sick note, you will be extended. Okay, na-extend na naman ako ng another month. Okay, 1 month ako sa Philippines, and then pagbalik ko dito sa UK, ni-review na naman niya ako, of course. And then, after nung review, nagpa-extend ako ng another month. Sabi ko, ayoko nang pumasok. Sabi ko, kasi iba na yung feeling. Sabi ko, nanginginig na ako, like nagtitremor na ako, and I lost my confidence. Sabi ko, totoo naman. Kasi, di ba, pag medyo feeling mo nabully ka or ano ka, parang nasa-threatened yung self-esteem mo. So, sabi ko, I'm not happy or comfortable going back to work. Kasi, syempre, di ba, medyo yung mga alaga mo, medyo mako-compromise din, di ba? So, ayun, binigyan na naman niya ako ng another 1 month. So again, so that's total of 2 weeks and 2 months na akong walang work. Then again, sinama ko na dun yung resignation ko. Ang mangyayari niyan, bale, February 14, that's my last day. And thank God, I was able to find a new care home na kung saan ako magtatrabaho. So ganun yung nangyari doon.
Manong knows best.
Bali, kapag nasa nursing home ka, which is private, okay, and naka-sick note ka, makakatanggap ka ng SSP, yung statutory pay. For me, ang 1 month ko is 527.60. Not sure sa NHS, but I believe na kapag nasa NHS ka, it's fully paid. So, yan. And at the same time, guys, yung sick note na to, it can extend up to a maximum of 6 months. 6 months siya talaga. Ayun.
Manong knows best.
Strongly suggest na, like say for example, if you feel na you are not really comfortable, kung feeling ninyo na may nangyayari na, say for example, bullying or racism or whatever sa care home nyo or kahit sa NHS ba kayo nagtatrabaho, you have to make sure that you have to contact your line manager. That's what I did. I told my manager about it, but then again, hindi niya masyadong she just brushed it off. Parang hindi niya siya in-acknowledge. So, what I did was I called my GP. I contacted RCN, which is my union. Okay, so iba-iba po yung mga union natin. I contacted my union. And then they give me legal advice. Okay, so this is what's good about my union is that they were very proactive when they told me na I'm gonna contact you at this date at this time. Talagang kinokontak nila ako, and then they really helped me. um Pagkatapos niyan is I also attended, by the way, a workshop. It's called Talk Works. Okay, so maganda siya. It's provided by the NHS. Of course, it's free. You get counseling. It's 45 minutes each session. I strongly suggest na you take that opportunity. That's one of your benefits from the NHS, di ba? Na may nakakausap ka and then they tell you kung ano yung ways on how to improve your life to get back on track. So that's what I'm currently doing now. Like this week, I'm gonna have that review once again.
Manong knows best.
Tanggalin na natin yung stigma na kapag sinabing mental health is baliw ang tao. Hindi siya ganon. Okay, there are different types of types po ng mental health. Kasama dyan yung like say for example, yung dementia, okay, kasama yan dyan. Psychotic disorders, kasama yan. Mga bulimic, yung mga the way how you perceive yourself, ganyan. So, isa lang yung anxiety, okay, like anxiety and depression. Isa lang siya sa mga categories na nagfo-fall doon sa mental health kasi malawak talaga yun. So, like I said, tanggalin na natin yung stigma natin dyan. Anong petsa na ngayon, di ba? 2023 na tayo, di ba? And it doesn't mean, guys, na alam ko na isa sa mga kinakatakot nyo is baka malaman ng employer ko yung may issue ako sa mental health, ganyan. So, one thing you have to take note of is that yung mga information natin, guys, private sila. It's just between us and yung ating GP, yung doctor lang natin. Kaya nga dyan papasok yung GDPR, di ba? So, you don't really have to worry. Walang ibang makakaalam ng information. Actually, even yung employer nyo, hindi niya malalaman. Okay, so if you really need help, you have to seek help. Kasi again, ito ang puhunan natin yung mental health natin. It will affect everything. Ang pakikitungo mo sa tao, ang pagde-decide mo sa mga bagay-bagay, 'di ba? So kung papaano mo i-acknowledge lahat na nangyayari in your everyday life. So kaya kailangan protect your mental health at all cost.
Manong knows best.
If you notice, may mga nagpo-post, 'di ba, sa mga groups natin na naka-group member, naka-ganun siya. But then I took the courage. Sabi ko, bakit ko kailangang ikahiya na dumating yung point na nag-struggle ako, na nahirapan ako somehow, na nagkaroon ako ng anxiety. Sabi ko, normal lang to kasi tao tayo. So sabi ko, ipopost ko to, sabi ko, yung based on my experience talaga, nang nakalabas yung pangalan ko, para maisip nila na kung si Coach Alice nga, nasi-stress, nahihirapan, nagkakaroon ng anxiety, it's also normal for me. Kasi normal lang, it's normal for everybody to undergo ka ng ganitong process. So again, it's normal. Tanggalin na natin yung iniisip natin na baliw or whatever. Hindi. 'Di ba? Sabi nga ng mental health nurse na kinakausap ko tsaka ng counselor ko, sabi nila talagang there's just a certain amount of stress that our brain can handle. So overall yan, hindi lang brain, di ba? Pati yung feelings, yung emotions mo. So, again, don't be too harsh on yourselves, di ba? Nandiyan ang ino-offer ng NHS na help for us to maintain our mental health. Grab it, take it, di ba? Especially now, malamig ang panahon, di ba? Na ang daming nagkaka-issue sa mental health. Huwag niyong solohin, okay? Kung mausap kayo ng mga tao, especially yung mga tao na who specialize on this particular area, they will be able to help you.
Always remember, Manong knows.
Manong knows best. Put your worries to rest when staying in the United Kingdom. Manong knows best.